Sink it. Sink it. Sink it.
Roll them doobies nice and tight. Engage your hyperdrive.
I thought this Bigfoot thingy is. Do you believe in aliens? What really does happen to your underpants and socks and you think it swears for all those motherfucking people? UFOs. I mean, what's up with that? You think dogs can look up? What the hell's out there?
I'm just trying to figure that stuff out. Yeah.
Beautiful. Delicioso.
Delicioso.
He's a delicioso.
What up?
What is up? Welcome to the show.
The Omniology.
I hear that crackle. You hear it? It's coming in. The smooth sounds. The smooth sounds of the Omniology Project. You are now tuning in to the Omniology Project, hosted by William Waffles and Mikey Booyah. That's me. I'm Mikey Booyah. That's William Waffles.
I'm William Waffles. That's Mikey Booyah.
And we are here to talk about the one, the only. I don't know why I cut the music.
I don't know.
Lafayette? Was that his name?
Lafayette.
Ronald
Hubbard.
L. Ron, baby.
That's right.
Gang, gang. So L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology.
The founder.
Who, according to this map, which is from the website google.com/maps/directions/blah, blah, 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 his final resting place, the hidden ranch of L. Ron Hubbard, is 20 miles from where we record this podcast.
Yeah. We could be there in a half hour.
That's insane.
It is.
So a lot of people know, have heard about L. Ron Hubbard, have heard about Scientology.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of stuff today.
So, growing up, I had no idea Scientology was a thing.
Yeah.
Until I was like my late 20s. Like when, what's his name? Jumped up on the couch and shit.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, that's when I was like, oh, Scientology. Oh, it's some weird religion. All right, cool. And then, down the road here,
Yeah.
we come to find out that there might be a closer connection.
Much closer.
Much closer.
Yeah.
With Lafayette than I actually realized.
So, I think I heard of Scientology like around the same time. It was like the Tom Cruise thing, because Tom Cruise was like the first big celebrity that was like pushing it.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you guys should really look into L. Ron Hubbard. And you're like, why is my celebrity talking to me?
Right.
Why is my celebrity saying words that he thought of?
Yeah.
Like, I want my celebrities to say words that someone else wrote down.
Yeah, in a movie, on a screen.
Yeah, I want these vetted. I want these going through at least 30 people before they leave this guy's mouth.
Yeah, no, this was coming straight from his lips, his mind.
And I was like, why is Tom Cruise pitching this guy? And I think that's what a lot of people said.
So here's where my confusion came in with it initially, was Scientology was a religion, and then people kept mentioning L. Ron Hubbard, which I didn't know anything about, but I knew he was a fiction writer.
That's really all.
That's all I knew.
I knew that he was a science fiction writer.
Yeah, science fiction.
Well, I guess all fiction.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I learned that he started in doing the pulp in a pulp magazine, or the pulp fiction is where he started.
Pulp fiction.
Which is where I think the term pulp fiction came from.
All right.
And it was short stories that were written in like old newspapers or magazines or whatever.
Yeah, like old comic books.
Yeah, and he would write fiction, long stories. He would get paid like a penny a page.
Yeah.
And hammer out. They said that in his peak, he was writing 100,000 words a month or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's just slamming out little stories and shit.
So he would just write whatever for whatever and just made money just creating this stuff. And then eventually wrote the book Dianetics, which led to the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
So I had really heard just like the South Park stuff about Scientology and the frozen souls in volcanoes or something.
So
alien souls.
here's the funny, sad, however you want to look at it, truth about that episode is it's pretty fucking accurate.
Yeah. Because I remember on the bottom of the screen, it kept saying, this is what Scientologists actually believe. Like, it said that. And they can't legally put that on the screen. That would be slander. You know what I mean? When they're talking about the Lord Xenu. And this is, for anybody that saw or heard of the documentary Going Clear, this is like what they talk about. Wasn't that the Leah Remini thing? Or was that something else?
I don't know what the title of it is. Maybe it is coming clean or going clear or something like that. I'm in the middle of watching it myself.
But they talk about how you don't really learn this alien overlord Lord Xenu thing until you're like a 30th level Scientologist. You got to be decades in.
Oh, yeah. Decades.
They keep this shit hidden, so that way you're already invested. You've already donated all this. You already are built up in the church.
Yeah, you have no other option.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You can't just be like, that's crazy. I'm out of here. Where are you going to go? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really all I knew about it.
Yeah, it's, and honestly, even up until recently, I didn't know shit about it myself.
I know that they had a dope church in LA, and that every time I go to Hollywood, I walk by and they trick me. They start talking to me, and they're dressed churchy, but not super churchy. It's almost just it'll just be like a lady in a dress or like a guy in like a button-up shirt, but it's not like Mormon-y to where it's like a shirt and tie and name tag.
I've never run into these guys.
And they approach you on the street whenever you're just walking around by the church, and they come up and they talk to you. Hey, how's your day going? And they have this way of approaching you and talking to you to where you don't connect it. Like, I didn't even realize that I was in front of the church until afterwards. I looked up. And whoever I was with was like, hey, let's go. They're trying to fucking get you into Scientology. And I was like, hey, I'm talking to this person. And then I look up and I'm like, oh, weird. And it was all about Dianetics. Like, it was all, they kept bringing up Dianetics and not Scientology. And I had to ask, like, is this Scientology? And she was like, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I have yet to read Dianetics. I'm actually a little excited to.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of research on not only L. Ron Hubbard, but Scientology recently. And it is, to be honest, quite a fascinating thing. People, the way they think about it, the way they look at it, the way they live it.
So I said before we started recording this that I had this feeling like we're opening a door that I don't usually get when we're going into things like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we did Mothman, and I wasn't like, oh, this is a weird thing that this is a creepy thing that what if Mothman comes? Like,
right.
I didn't have the feeling that I have now
well,
about this. And now the way that you just said that about how Scientology with the fucking space jazz in the background, and you're like, it's a fascinating subject. That's scary. That's scary. This is getting dangerous, I think.
So even the way you said it is like one of the last reasons why you said you're afraid. Mothman ain't gonna come and get you. You ain't worried about that. You know who could come and get us? Or depending on how deep we get into this conversation, will come and try to get us is the Scientologist.
Yeah.
And that's something we should actually look into about them. Scientologists are extremely obnoxious when it comes to anybody. I use the word obnoxious on purpose. Extremely obnoxious to anybody who is against them. They don't physically hurt you. There's never been a case or an instance of somebody from the church physically hurting somebody who's not part of the church. I won't go into the other section yet, but they'll get in your face. They'll try to humiliate you. They'll record you. They'll be everywhere and just be a nuisance.
They actually have, much like everything, they have their own term for it, and it's called fair game.
Yeah, fair
in
game.
Scientology.
That's correct.
The term fair game is used to describe policies and practices carried out by the Church of Scientology towards people and groups it perceives as enemies.
Now this has been renounced as a tactic by them. to society. The belief is that they still do use the tactic fair game.
Yeah. So L. Ron Hubbard established the policy in the 50s in response to criticism. Individuals or groups who are fair game are judged to be a threat to the church, and according to the policy, can be punished and harassed using any and all means possible. Is crazy. And that's what we were watching, the spoken word from L. Ron Hubbard's great-grandson.
Great-grandson,
who's disconnected from the family. They had to change their name and shit.
Wolf.
Yeah. And he said that, early, his grandfather was receiving pictures in his mailbox of his kids playing on the playground. This is way before social media. This is back in the 60s or whatever.
Yeah, this is like old school tactics of like, here's a picture of your daughter at a playground.
Yeah. And just that level of harassment to where it's like, hey, your kids are unprotected right now. Like,
this
kill your kids.
This was L. Ron Hubbard Jr. That was having this happen to him by the church.
Yeah, which I didn't even know until today. There was an L. Ron Hubbard Jr.
Yeah, no. We got learned. Got learned by some incredible spoken word, actually.
So L. Ron Hubbard had a junior, which helped him build the church, and eventually left the church and was getting harassed by the lead or by the followers and by his own dad.
Correct. And
had to change his name to DeWolf, which is crazy.
It is super crazy, actually.
So this fair game thing, we will definitely be susceptible to the fair game policy for sure.
Yes.
We haven't really. We're sharing a lot of information that they would rather not be shared. That's still one of their things when you go and sign up for Scientology. They ask you if you have ever researched anything that's anti-Scientology, if you've ever heard anything. They keep you away from that.
Yeah.
They still are under this illusion that the internet isn't everywhere and that they could hold information away from people.
So here's... God, I forgot what I was going to say. The reason that they're so not... that they're having they're having a hard time bringing new people in.
Yeah.
Like, they can keep who they have, but they're trying so fucking hard to get new people in. And it's hard at this point.
And I have a video that I want to watch in a little bit of somebody that infiltrated the Sea Org, signed the billion-year contract, and did it all on hidden camera and captured, that process.
Now, see, when it comes to fair game, personally, I put a lot of thought into this already. Because I've been out there. I've already gone. And understanding that when my vehicle, the same vehicle, appears on their cameras more than twice in a month, they're going to be curious. So things like this are things you have to keep in mind when you're dealing with something at this kind of a level.
Yeah. So the most recent case of fair game was a private investigator pleaded guilty to the federal charge of conspiracy to commit computer hacking after he illegally gained access to at least 60 email accounts. Among those targeted were Mike Rinder, the former spokesman for the Church of Scientology, and journalist Tony Ortega. Both had participated in the HBO documentary film Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief.
Yep.
And then Ron Miscavige Sr., which is David Miscavige's dad. So David Miscavige is the new leader. He's the new L. Ron Hubbard.
He's the one who picked up pretty much exactly. So they removed Lafayette as lead of the church years before he passed away because of legal reasons. He was running from multiple countries, multiple counties, multiple states. And they removed him years ago, but when he passed, when he transcended, as he would put it, that left a gap of somebody to step in and actually run shit. God damn it, what's his last name?
Miscavige?
Miscavige came in, and he's been the one running the show almost since 97 or 87.
Yeah.
So he's been pretty much anything you've heard in pop culture about Scientology is most likely while this guy has been in charge.
Mm-hmm. So this is in this guy Mark Rathburn, who was a former senior executive of the church, left the organization in 2004, and he was in a 1-hour feature titled Scientologist at War on a British TV channel. And in 2013, his wife filed a lawsuit against the Church of Scientology, alleging that for 4 years they harassed them. In October 2014, Mark filmed an encounter where he showed 3 members of the church top management as they ambushed him at the Los Angeles International Airport. The church defended this activity as being protected by the First Amendment and free speech rights.
They can go where they want and record where they want.
So they didn't deny it. They weren't like, no, we're not messing with this guy. They were like, hey, we're doing everything within the law, but we take it right up to the line.
And see, and that's what I mean by they're not like physical about stuff.
Yeah, they take it right up to the line to where it creeps you out.
Yeah.
And all it really takes is for one of these guys, which are already unstable. If you're living this life of a Scientologist and you believe in this Lord Xenu thing, and you're going out of your way to harass people that speak out against you, you don't see any other religion doing that, you know? And, I mean, I've been harassed by Christians in the parking lot of a church. Like, blatantly about religion. But people don't really come out to where I am and, you know, hey, what do you believe in my God? Why not, you know? Not like how aggressive this is. So
True.
If you see these unstable people, all it takes is for one of these guys to take it too far.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, pretty probable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be scary. And there's a pretty good chance that we're fair game.
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
So, yeah, they're still doing this super recently. One thing that I want to do before we end this, actually, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
I want to save it. Do you want to watch this video of this guy trying to join the Sea Org?
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on with this. So, when he originally uploaded this video, it wasn't blurred, and then now this is the redacted version. So this is from Reckless Ben, a goofy YouTuber guy.
Good old Reckless Ben.
That's just like, hey, I'm a goofy guy. I do goofy stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know? He's
a goof.
He's a goof. And
He does gaffes.
he was like, hey, as a goof and a gaff, I'm going to join Scientology with a hidden camera.
Yeah.
There's a lot of states where you can legally, it's one-party consent. You could legally hidden camera someone.
Yeah.
California is not one of those states,
No.
unfortunately.
You can record people.
But they all have to sign off on it if you're going to release it.
Yeah.
So he records this encounter with this guy who's signing people up for Scientology, for the Sea Org, which is their elite members.
Yep. The Sea Organization.
This decision, some little personal, your history of homosexual activity.
No.
No? Okay. And just kind of, but, I mean, like, something at some point?
Maybe like
This video is maybe this video is what was lagging my shit out.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, it's because I got it on full HD. We don't need that.
No, yeah. No, we were trying to freeze frame, remember?
Yeah.
like once.
Not an out qualification. It's not, we just have to ask.
Yeah, I'm not gay though.
Okay, good.
Just like one time, my 3 friends and I we blew a guy off Craigslist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's a pretty good joke. That's a pretty fucking good joke, actually.
Okay, so a lot of weird pressing questions about homosexuality.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really expect.
But don't matter.
Came
But
out
don't
left
matter.
field.
They don't disqualify you.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's almost like that guy was just trying to hook up after.
Right.
He was like, so are you gay or, I mean, it doesn't matter. But are you?
So you look back on that and you're like, oh man, what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, none of us are gay too, so it's weird. Like, why did we do that? It was like such a weird thing that we did. Weird.
Were you guys like, were they high or something, or drunk, or
No, we were sober, which was the weird.
Were you on drug?
anti-Scientology?
Oh yeah.
Seeked out.
Have you ever seeked out anything on the internet that's anti-Scientology?
No, I actually haven't. Have you ever looked up online
No, I
about
actually
Scientology, like bad
haven't.
stuff, or?
I haven't because I know it's just same as you, so I know it's all nonsense.
There's one thing that sometimes I do like to see kind of the other person's point of view, just so I can like see.
Yeah. I just know that it oftentimes is designed to mess with your head,
Yeah.
and it's designed to give you a very bad,
And like brainwash you.
a little bit.
You want any more of that guy?
It's got some truth, but then mixed with a lot of lies.
Okay, so he doesn't look at anything against Scientology. And this kid's like, well, I mean, I like to look at the opposing side to see like where they're at.
Yeah.
Which is a good mindset to be in. You know what I mean? This guy goes, no, because they build it to where if you read it, then it brainwashes you into believing it. So instead of, oh, maybe this actually makes more sense, and this is fact, and Scientology is lies, he's like, nah, I like to live this lie.
You know, maybe it's what makes him happy.
Facts are too compelling.
Too compelling.
It's a bait and switch.
Totally. So then you're a little messed with. You're kind of like, wait a minute, right?
Wait, what? You're not describing the internet. You're describing Scientology. All Scientology is.
Yeah, this is him. This is Ben. That's Ben. He has a stain on his sweatshirt.
Yep.
They hung up a little thing. He has his friend here. They're recording it in their spare bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Shout out to Reckless Ben, dude.
Kicked back on their little. I don't even know
What
what's
is
going on there.
It's like a little Rubbermaid table.
Right.
I mean, clearly the best thing he has is the MacBook. That's the
Yeah.
that's the star of the show. And Ben.
And Ben.
Shout out to Ben.
It's intense.
This is, I'm going to make it a little more intense.
Okay.
It wasn't intense enough. We work 7 days a week. We live together. We get, in our pocket, individually $50 a week.
Bro, how is that?
7 days a week they work. They all live together. So, I mean, it's pretty much, I mean, you got to imagine it's go to sleep, it's wake up, it's eat, it's go to work.
Yeah.
And then it's go to sleep.
Let's go, go, go.
Yeah, that's it. You're always moving. You're always doing stuff. You're always involved or praying or in the church or whatever. So, $50 a week. Which, are they feeding you? I mean, you all live together. You're getting fed, right?
I would assume. Does
do
he
you
go
all-
on? Does he
do
go
they-
on about food? Maybe
Do they all go in on groceries?
they pay your rent. I
If
think.
you really want to enslave people, tell them that you're going to give them total freedom. No.
That's the goal, to go clear.
Yeah, to be free. And just to be free of all that.
You know, getting freer and freer and freer and more intelligent.
We're going to do this thing where we try to go free. You're going to go clear, and you're not going to be bound by this physical universe anymore because there's more to life.
That's freaky. They don't seem like slaves at all. What are you talking about, Michael?
But to fully change the behavior of our species, because our species has gone psychic.
They are psycho.
They're fully nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we are done with it.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, good. We're not just trying to make people a little bit happier.
Yeah, we're trying to change humanity.
Yeah, like stop it. Like knock that off. We're gonna not have war. We're gonna not.
It seemed almost forceful at the beginning. We're going to change humanity. Not like, hey, you should be better. We're going to, like, stop it.
You know, like straight up, they're going to change it.
Yeah. How should I go about... I mean, I feel like blocking my number isn't going to be enough. Like, should I get, like, an app that I would call the Church of Scientology from? Do you think that would be the best way to go?
Nah, just call him, dude.
Just call them?
Just call him.
Because I wanna call him and I wanna ask him. Let's actually I say we get into this fucking ranch, dude. Let's dive into it. This
All right.
Church of Scientology, 20 miles away from us. It is right outside of Creston, California, which is the town next to the town from Footloose,
Yeah.
where we record our podcast.
Yeah.
And it's right on the other side of this is Margarita, the town that you live in.
Correct.
And Margaritaville from the Jimmy Buffett song.
Yeah.
And so you live in Margaritaville. I live in the town from Footloose. Now, in between those, it's this ranch.
Yep.
And this is the final hiding place and place of death, and also where a lot of the books were written from L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Not the junior. We're not like, oh, yeah, this is junior guy.
No, this is Lafayette Ron
This is
Hubbard.
Lafayette Ron Hubbard's. Okay. So you brought this to my attention today.
I did.
And you were like, hey, this ranch, they keep it. One of the things that stuck with me that you said is that there's people here that are maintaining this for his return.
Correct.
People are being paid by the Church of Scientology.
I wouldn't say paid.
Yeah, okay, you're right. People are being paid $50 a week by the Church of Scientology to maintain this for the return of L. Ron Hubbard.
Correct.
So, let's see. Let's go to these pictures. Because that aerial view is dope to put it in perspective, but it's like...
So, when was this? 2016, I believe, is when the first aerial photos of the ranch were released to the public. They were drone photos. Somebody went out there and flew their drone out around, or had the availability to, or did it illegally. I'm not sure. But these are the resulting images. So what you're...
Here, so this is the main
everything. This is what we're looking at: his house, the horse racing ring, the stables down here to the left, and the bunkhouses down here past the stables.
So this is his main house.
That is his mansion.
In the middle by this,
correct,
by this lake thing. But you said that it was over here by the stables.
Correct. Probably where your finger is where your finger or the other side of the stables. It was somewhere right in that nook where he had a Bluebird trailer where he spent most of his time.
That's crazy. Yeah, had that whole property in that mansion and lived in a fucking trailer in the under the trees right here.
Yeah.
So these are Scientology symbols all over the place in here. Another thing that popped out that was cool is this running circle.
Correct.
Which is apparently for people like us that go against the church.
Well, no. It's somebody who's in the church that has gone against a specific rule or done something wrong.
Yeah, so it's a punishment.
It's a punishment running circle. So, and if you look down there to the left, those are the 3 bunkhouses. Those are mobile home trailers he put in. That's for the people who work there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the horse stables right there, where the horses he bought were kept.
And that was another thing, is that this place was purchased and run under the guise of a horse farm.
Correct.
And this track that they have, not a single horse was run on it.
No, never.
And they had these horses. They had people working here, and they were like, hey, and they would go into the town of Creston, and everyone would be like, oh, yeah, we have this horse farm out here. Because it's a big spot for that. It's ranch country in the middle of California. Yeah. And Alex Trebek had a ranch out here.
Yeah, we're talking Alex Trebek had like multi-hundred-acre ranches out in this area that took retired racehorses. Mm. So, and we're talking less than 5 miles away from here.
Is Alex Trebek a Scientologist?
I have no idea.
Because that's kind of weird to do, like, right next to L. Ron Hubbard's ranch and do kind of a similar thing with the horses.
No, I think Alex Trebek possibly had it before. I'll have to look into that.
There's a hair somewhere. It's like on my forehead or it's in my eyelash. I keep seeing it. There it is. Got it. Okay. So there's a better shot of this running circle under here. Oh, yeah, there it is. Look at that running circle.
I'm not coming up with it right away.
There's a little path to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, what is that? What would that even be used for? You don't do that with, you don't run horses in fucking tight circles like that.
No, not really.
I mean, I guess you could do like you could be standing inside and the horse could be here and you could be like holding the reins. So you have like a little fence barrier for like unruly horses.
Right.
It could be like a training for like wild horses. You know what I mean?
I guess maybe.
But nah, that's a running circle, dude.
Shots of the mansion with the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice high aerial view. Now, everything you're seeing just south of the ranch in this picture is all part of a Christian camp. This is all a Christian camp right here.
Yeah, you could see it on this
Granite Ranch.
You can see it on this jewel map.
Yeah.
Granite Ranch Christian Camp.
Granite Ridge.
Granite Ridge.
Christian camp.
So that's got a little backdoor view right there. We're
Yeah.
not going to talk about the surrounding of the thing. I had a dream where I wanted to go there.
Where?
To that ranch. To this ranch. I wanted to go to the Christian camp. I had a dream where you got a job there.
That'd be sweet.
So, this fucking guy.
Yeah, this guy is he's pretty crazy. So yeah, they have like a whole shitload of llamas and like buffalo, all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah, the viewing tower in the middle of the racetrack's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that thing's big. So this guy took his Scientology money, built this fucking crazy ass ranch out here.
Yeah. This is one of multiple.
And lived there for how long?
6 years?
6 years. And then died there.
Yeah. He secluded himself away here for 6 years under false names.
And that was in
1880, not 18.
January of 1986.
Is when he passed, yes.
Yeah. So, what happens? What happens in Scientology when you die? It's like a whole thing. You gotta go.
You go like over a bridge. I think something to do with a bridge. More shots of the mansion with their fancy fountain.
Mansion fountain. The Church of Spiritual Technology corporate logo visible from the sky.
Yep.
Hill. They got 3 hills. You see that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What do you need 3 hills for?
Hey, man. Fucking hills are nice.
Huge water cannons to ward off intruders.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, where are these water cannons at? I don't see no water cannons.
Right. Looks like a bitchin' mansion, though.
Are they building new stuff?
No, it's just a bunch of farm equipment like fencing stuff.
So a staff member said that he put in 5 years into the ranch to fix it up because it was run down when the church bought it.
Nice little greenhouse. There's shots of their like...
And even groceries for the properties.
Yeah. Yeah, he kept like $2 million in cash on the property in his safe.
Yeah.
That's what they would go buy stuff with all the time. He just constantly had $2 million in cash on him. Trip, right? Well, there's got to be $2 million in the bank, right?
Yeah.
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 Let's go there, dude. Let's go there and break in and steal that money from that safe, dude. Let's do it.
Breaking in.
I'm going to
may be
cut
a
this
different
out.
thing.
Let's do it. No, dude. That's crazy.
It is. It is very fucking crazy.
It's crazy that it's right here. This shit's right next to us.
Yeah. What's crazy is it's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
How many times have we just gone out driving around roads?
It's been here the whole time. It's not like they just built this. You're right. Fuck.
Right?
Yeah. It's just out here in pristine condition, waiting for L. Ron Hubbard to come back.
Can we go to the Times article?
The New Times article.
Yeah.
About his death or about his ranch?
About the death.
Let's see. I got some death stuff up here. Guess it is, dude. Full name was Lafayette Ronald Hubbard. There you go. So, Deputy Charles Gassett and his partner Gary Bang from Gary Bang Harley.
Yeah.
So people, that's our local Harley Davidson dealer.
Yep.
Used to be the sheriff.
Correct.
We're sitting in Golden Hill Cafe in Paso Robles, where we went this morning to get these drinks. And another thing, this was not planned. A guy that I used to work with opened a new coffee shop in the parking lot of the Golden Hill Cafe, where it used to be. It used to be Bronco Burger or whatever.
Yep.
So I was like, when Bill gets here, we'll go get coffee. Before we even talked about it, I was like, hey, you want to go get coffee? And you were like, yeah. So I was like, planned it all out. I was going to support this guy. I used to work with him. He opened the thing. Great coffee. It's called Nano's Coffee. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's where the Golden Hill
That's
thing
pretty
used to be.
dank.
There's the commercial.
I got the sweet, like,
purple corn thing.
purple corn drink.
Yeah, fire. Mm-hmm. So we already were planning to go to this place where they were.
Yeah.
So everything's all like tied together this morning for
It
some
is.
reason. So they were sitting there where we got coffee this morning and got the call at 7:30 a.m. Someone from the Reese family mortuary made an apprehensive call. That morning, the chapel was contacted and informed that there was a body that was to be gathered and cremated immediately, although the man died a day earlier. Gassett and Bang were told to make sure that there was no foul play. The name didn't register at first, but his partner knew exactly who they were going to see. L. Ron Hubbard had been living just north of San Luis Obispo, but two deputies inadvertently would be the first people outside of the church to learn it. You know, once in a while I mention it, but not very often, Gassett said. Many seem doubtful about the story. It's just one of those things that a lot of people, they kind of look at you like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip.
We need to call Gary Bang.
Skip this.
Because this is obviously...
And go
look,
down to the next one right here. Yeah, this is where it starts talking about like his reaccounting of it.
This is obviously part one of this episode, because we got to dive back into this. We got to contact people.
Yeah, this is a deep boy.
So Gassett and Bang arrived. Gassett and Bang, that's a cool name for like a TV show.
It was Gassett
Cop
and Bang.
duo. Gassett and Bang arrived at the ranch where they were met by Hubbard's attorney and his doctor, Gene Dink.
I love that name.
So his attorney and his doctor.
His attorney and doctor.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they're like covering all the bases.
Yep.
He's like, I want everything taken care of. That way, my doctor's there, so there's a medical expert. My attorney's there. He knows what can legally be done and what can't be done.
Yep.
And they're literally there protecting his secrets.
Yep.
Fuck. They were led past the Southwestern-style house and behind the stables to a 1982 Bluebird motorhome. Both remembered it was a pleasant day, but the air conditioner was running inside. Hubbard's body was unattended.
That's why the AC was on.
Because he had been dead for a day. Mm-hmm. So they're like, we're going to cool this bad boy down.
Yep.
The man they saw was unrecognizable from the image of a spry young writer Hubbard had pasted on so many of his book jackets. His body lay in bed with the covers drawn to his chest. His hairline was receded, but his mane had been growing long over the back of his neck. Hubbard's remains were slim with long, unkempt fingernails and toenails. His hands were folded on the chest. Bang knew of Hubbard because he, like many others, had bought Scientology's equivalent to the Bible, Dianetics, the modern science of mental health. Gary Bang's a science. If we fuck around and find out that Gary Bang's a Scientologist and that this whole thing just brought him closer. The book was advertised as a powerful answer to life's problems, so Bang decided to give it a try. He hadn't read the first page. However, after coming face to face with the author, he never did. Damn. After I saw what happened, I threw the book away, he said in a phone interview from his Florida home. He left the strings of his family and died by himself in a motorhome. They gave the body a quick examination but saw nothing out of the ordinary. He had suffered from a stroke the week prior. His cause of death was determined to be cerebral vascular accident. The deputies then went and waited with Cooley and Dank for someone from the funeral home to arrive. They told us a little bit about who he had been. He had been living up at the ranch for a couple years, and he had grown his hair long and basically had blended in with the general population, and nobody knew him up here by sight. He could come and go in town as he pleased.
Trip, right? Trip, right?
Yeah. So he wasn't just hiding out there making people do stuff for him in his trailer. He was running around. He
Yeah,
was
no,
meeting
and he'd
people.
be here in A-Town all the fucking time.
Yeah, like
Or down in A-Town.
Like how many people just like had conversations with him? It was just like, oh yeah, I knew that guy.
Right?
But when he died, there was no pictures in his later years.
Nope.
So it's like nobody could be like, oh hey,
Yeah,
that's
that picture I sent you, that's like it.
yeah. Fuck. That's crazy. He used to drive his motorhome around frequently, often spending the day in the town from Footloose or San Luis Obispo. Right here, in this town.
Yeah.
He would hang out in this town.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. It's called Paso Robles. It's the town where Footloose was made.
Yeah, Footloose.
Footloose is based off of Paso Robles. Town from Footloose.
I put baby in the corner.
The message was clear that Hubbard was to be cremated immediately. Hubbard had drafted a new will that stated there would not be an autopsy because it violated his religious beliefs. The will was signed, dated, and imprinted with Hubbard's inked thumbprint. The new will, giving more assets to his family than a previous version, was dated the day before he died.
Yeah, dude.
What?
Yeah,
A
dude.
new will the day before he died?
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. This is a deep one. We're opening a fucking can of worms here, dude.
Okay. The sheriff's department feared controversy and pressed for an autopsy. Cooley and Dank finally agreed to allow the coroner to do an external examination and collect blood and urine. Records of his fingerprints were sent off to be matched with federal and military records to verify that he was indeed Hubbard. According to the coroner's report, is the following. There was a bandage on his right ass area covering 10 recent needle marks. Hubbard's blood contained traces of hydroxyzine, also known as Vistaril. What is that? Vistaril.
Vistaril?
Yeah.
Keep going.
The last details had proven difficult for his followers to reconcile. Hubbard disdained psychs and their medications. In internal writings to Scientologists, he would often describe psychiatrists as criminals and con artists who knew they could not cure mental illness. Scientologists are not against all prescribed medications, only the psychiatric variety. According to the church, Hubbard suffered allergies from the animals he kept on the ranch and was prescribed Vistaril as an antihistamine. The drug, however, has another use. According to the Food and Drug Administration, Vistaril in both the capsule and injected form is used for relief of anxiety and tension associated with psychoneurosis. He didn't take it as a psychiatric medication. That's all, church spokesman Tommy Davis said in a phone interview.
How many shots in his butt?
10 shots. It's one of those things that anti-Scientologists would make an issue about. And we're like, yeah, whatever. Followers were informed 2 weeks later that he died. At the time, young, up-and-coming David Miscavige stepped in as the new frontman. He addressed the parishioners in a large auditorium. That day, Scientologists were told that Hubbard died. We're not told that Hubbard died. Instead, L. Ron Hubbard discarded the body he had used in this lifetime. He had achieved a spiritual level unimaginable, which was achieved in an exterior state. So he's not dead. He moved on. He left his shell.
Correct.
And he left his shell here, where we live.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. What? 10 shots in his ass.
10. So he was losing his fucking mind.
Bandage. New will
Yep.
right before he died.
Yep.
Who? Because it wasn't him.
No.
Who did all that? Who did this to him?
Burn the body.
Somebody did this to him. And this new will that said, hey, you can't do an autopsy because of my religious beliefs. And also, I'm going to give some more stuff to my family.
Yeah.
That was made the day before he died. Well after these 10 shots in his ass.
Yeah.
So, if that wasn't in his will before, don't do an autopsy because it's against my religion. And there's really no other mention of that besides just in his will.
The only other time I've heard something weird like that in a will
was that song Will by Joyner Lucas. I didn't like that.
No.
I didn't like that
It
song.
was Carol Baskin's husband.
Oh, yeah. Upon my disappearance.
Yeah.
Upon my death or disappearance.
Death or disappearance.
Yeah. My disappearance.
Don't medically search my body because it's against my religion.
Yeah. That's fucking fishy, dude.
Bet it is, dude.
Okay, we need to do more research on this. We need to dive back into this.
Yeah.
Part 2 is coming. It's coming. But part 1 was good. I mean, we barely got into this.
No, I know, dude.
So let's take a little space jazz on our way out. And this is gonna be a dark road, but we're all gonna take it together.
Yeah, we are.
And we're gonna call Scientologists. We're gonna call Gary Bang. We're gonna try to figure out, exactly who all the people in his will were, how much they got. Anybody that, you need like a notary public to do a will, right? You need someone to notarize it.
Your lawyer's there and a doctor. The doctor could be a notary public.
And it's like they were the ones that were waiting outside. So it's like, where are they at now? Who are these guys?
How many other people were on property at the time?
Yeah, exactly. We got to find all this shit out. And I think that next week we should call, or not next week, but part 2.
Yeah.
We should call a Church of Scientology, like maybe the one in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And tell them that we found this church on Gmail or on the Google Maps.
Yeah.
And how it's, how we typed in Church of Scientology and it's right next to us.
Yeah.
It's right near us. So we're wondering about, we didn't find any hours on there. We're wondering.
It says open all the time.
Open all the time?
Yeah. That's what it says on Google.
Okay, well then we'll be like, it says open all the time. So,
well, that's why I want to go.
Is there hours when people are there? Like, we should ask and we should play dumb. And we should just be like, hey, we're really interested in Scientology, We just moved to California. We could say we moved to California from like a small town in like a shitty state. So you'd be like, we just moved out here last week. We're fucking retarded. We don't know anything.
Right.
And we don't even have Netflix yet. And you can get us. You can get us because we're brand new.
Brand new.
Mm-hmm. And try to get them to, like, give us some sort of information on this place. Obviously, they're going to say, you can't go there. It's not a church. There's a gate. They're not going to be like, yeah, come on in and get your tachyons read or whatever.
They might. Man, I want to go stand there until somebody comes to the gate, though.
Yeah. I mean, we could do that.
Anyway, I'm Part Deuce.
Peace out. We love you.
Natural Habitat Recordings.